Some quick tips for you guys. Stuff I know we've talked about in the past because obviously Q4's come around every year. But for new listeners, a couple quick tips. Some of these we mentioned on the previous episode with SellerSnap as well. But once Black Friday, Cyber Monday hits, do not be afraid to play around with price increases. People will buy as the holidays come closer. Do not get involved in price wars. Now, you always have to analyze the listing. If the listing's overstock and there's a big seller that's driving the price down and you're not winning buy box, you might just have to drop the price. But oftentimes people will drop the price out of panic, but they don't realize that the velocity is going up. And so then those people that drop the price, give it a couple days, they're out of stock, price jumps right back up. Now you're getting sales at a profitable margin. E-commerce is the greatest business opportunity of our generation. What's up, people? Welcome back to another episode. We're actually almost at episode 100.
What?
Thank you to all the listeners. I know, isn't that nuts? Almost at episode 100.
Get out of here. That's crazy.
Not quite. I believe this is episode 94.
Okay.
But welcome back to another episode of the Ecom Unlimited podcast. It's your boy Kaj here with my co-host Josh.
What's going on, everybody?
And today we are doing our review of Q3. So if you're new to the pod, every quarter we like to just go over some of our high level numbers, highlight a couple of our brands and how they're performing, and also compare that to the previous quarter, just so you guys also have some insight into how our business is going. It's also nice just for me and Josh to sit down and kind of look at the numbers at a high level and give you guys some transparency, just because we want you guys to know that we're like actually actively selling on Amazon as we're running this podcast for you as well. So let's get right into it. Josh, you want to just kind of give a quick overview of what revenue, profit, all those things looked like for quarter 3 in 2025?
Yeah. Guys, so drum roll, please. We got total sales at $392,000, which is crazy. Up from we did about $250,000 on Q2. So almost up like 150,000. So that's really cool to see. And there's a couple reasons that we got to, how it's so different, right? Because you can't just, in Q1 do $250,000 and then expect to be able to jump to almost $500,000 the next quarter, guys. And so we took some kind of strategic loans here to be able to bolster up some inventory for us that has been selling through quite profitably. So that's kind of how we were able to jump from kind of those two amounts of total sales. Okay. So this isn't something that you can just go off and do. All right. Gross profit was 48,000. That's almost up from Q2, which was 33,000. So that's a good spot. And here's where I thought we would see a little bit of a different number, because we got gross margin around 12.4%, and Q2 it was 13.3. I was expecting to be somewhere around the 11 to 10.5 range. So I was pretty happy with how our gross margin was able to stay relatively close to the same. Because when you kind of jump in revenue or total sales, you can lose potentially some of the profit along the way. Spend on ads, we did 8.2K from Q2. That was 5K. And then our favorite number, the subscribe and save. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes. This quarter, we're up to 658. And then from Q2, that number was 595. So almost up 63 subscribe and save orders from Q2, which is really fun. It's me and Kaj's favorite number, because if there's anything passive about this Amazon game right here, subscribe and save is the number. So that is the update on the total sales. Cajua, why don't you dive into some of the name brands that we have kind of named, and see kind of what that looks like now.
Yes. And quickly before I do that, I did also just want to comment on the gross margin. So part of that increase in revenue came from increasing our orders with our distributor that we work with, and that distributor selling big name brand products. that just move at a very high velocity, but have tighter margins. So the margin on those products, depending on the ASIN, can be anywhere from like 8 to 11% versus our brand direct stuff where we can see a margin of anywhere from like 13 to 20%. So that 12.4 is kind of the average of, okay, much higher margin brand direct stuff and much lower margin distribution stuff. So, I mean, honestly, like Josh said, I was kind of expecting that margin to be a little bit lower, but I mean, 12.4% with how that split looked and that revenue, very, very happy with that number.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see the difference from potentially other brands that have maybe actually grown in gross profit or gross margin over this quarter to kind of make up the difference for that as well.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, and so for people who might be listening to this that are new and didn't listen to our last quarterly overview, we like to highlight a couple of our brands and their performance as well, just so you can understand like how that's breaking down from our overall revenue. And we have, I guess, code names for those brands, and we keep those consistent so you can kind of see the journey of those brands too. So we've got Elon Musk's brand, which I'll go into right now, and then also Uncle Jeff's brand for Jeff Bezos, which Josh will go into. And then we will also be introducing 2 new brands that we will be tracking. So for Elon Musk's brand, revenue for them in Q3 was $74,000, gross
Q2.
profit.
Sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, you're right.
Wait.
You're right. My fault.
I don't even know who misspoke now. You tripped me up. But anyway, revenue Q3, quarter 3, 74,000, gross profit 14.8 thousand, gross margin 20%. That's beautiful. 20% gross margin on the brand direct. Don't tell me there isn't margin in wholesale. Ad spend for that brand was 3,800. We also spent just under $2,000 on coupons, $1,900. And then the subscribe and save for that brand is up to 84, which from Q2, it was 0. But I mean, we kind of onboarded that brand this year. So some of the ASINs just became available for subscribe and save. And I'm not exactly sure what the full potential for this brand is on the subscribe and save. Again, subscribe and save kind of being our favorite number, but I would love to see the subscribe and save count for Elon Musk's brand get up to where it is for Uncle Jeff's brand, which Josh will highlight, but I'd love to see it in like the 200 to 300 range within the next few months.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, how kind of go over the breakdown because we onboarded this brand in Q1, what were some of like the kind of the differences? Could you like kind of go over the different revenues there?
Yeah, those are clearly outlined on the Google Doc. That I just didn't say. Okay, so going back to revenue, it essentially doubled from Q2. Q2 was 35K, or I guess more than doubled. And then Q3 was 74. Gross profit in Q2 was 5.5. And then again for Q3 was 14.8, so like more than tripled actually, which is really good to see. Our gross margin in Q2 was 16%, so that also increased in Q3. Part of that just being in stock more, as well as having more historical data on ads. So Q2 we just started running ads for the brand, so we were doing a lot more research, more broad campaigns, more auto campaigns, being willing to spend to get data. And then Q3, it's like, okay, now we know what's converting. Obviously, we're still always doing some research and spending money that might necessarily be converting, whether it's a ranking campaign or a research campaign, but our ads are much more dialed. So you can see Q2, we did 2,000 in ad spend, and then Q3, we did 3.8. So we didn't double our ad spend, but we were still spending, and our conversion rate was probably higher. Our gross margin was higher. Gross profit was higher.
Yeah. Kind of talk to us potentially. Was there any way in the process, and I forget if this was the case or not, because I believe a lot of the stuff that we were buying early on was actually inventory that they already had. Did we get any better pricing, or was there a change in pricing when we went to, because didn't we pick up like a whole order from them? Did that change at all?
It did get a little bit better. So we were before, so like Q1, we were kind of carrying some of their not so great products. And when I say not so great products, I just mean in terms of velocity on Amazon.
Yeah.
So some of their slower moving stuff that they had on hand, it was easier for them to sell. because they're a smaller company, and so for their hero SKUs, the ones that really do the volume, like any there's always cash flow issues, right? So we kind of had to place like probably like an order for like 2 to 3 months worth of inventory, which is like essentially they started a manufacturing run just for us. And then once that first big order hit, and then we were fully in stock and actually able to go hard on ads, that's when we really saw that increase.
Yeah, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, switching gears here to Uncle Jeff's brand. This is a brand we've been carrying for, I think this is our longest brand. This is our bread and butter. This is our first
I think
brand
yeah,
coming from
2 years.
OA. Yeah, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
almost around 2 years. Um, and so, which is kind of similar here in terms of revenue. I might have missed this number. But I
Wait
believe
here.
we were in the 80 region. I think it might have dipped a little bit. Last year we were at 80.7K for revenue for Q1. I believe we may have dipped to maybe 79 or 78K.
Wait,
Looking at the numbers
I
here.
just cross-referenced it.
Yeah. What
Q3
was it?
was 80.3, and I think
80.3.
Q2 was 80.7, so almost
Gotcha.
the same. Yep.
I was going to say, because we're looking at potential similarities across the board, with gross profit margin being 14.9K and then gross margin being 19%. Now, I don't know if we actually updated these numbers because I think they look a lot the same, but I do know that our subscribe and save for this brand is around 268 in terms of units, and that's what we're looking for
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk brand. Ad spend was around 1.4, close to 1.5K, and our ad spend for Q2 was around 1.4K. So, very similar. Coupons, we ran about $2,000 worth of coupons. And then for Q2, we ran very close to 2K, and coupons, we ran about 1.8K. So again, a lot of similarities here in terms of, overall revenue, margin, profit, ad spend. And I'm not sure in terms of subscribe and save exactly how many units we have seen an increase in. That would actually be a little bit of an interesting kind of comparison between quarters. But we're really happy with that 268. I think we've been around 268 for a few quarters now, and we're really happy with that just consistent kind of product ordering over time. So we're really thrilled about that, and we're really excited to see with these other two brands we're going to announce here in a second what the potential is for our business moving forward. And so we are live, die Philly here. All right. We're both up near Westchester, more in the Glen Mills area. We breathe Philly sports. And the team that me and Kaja root for the most is the Philadelphia Union. They are I would classify the Union as a team that is just kind of cooked together between all these different types of players. We don't have mega stars. We have a
We're
whole
the team
bunch.
for the working class citizen.
Exactly. We're just a whole bunch of good players that play together well, that have put together a season, especially this season, that has been unlike any other season. So we are naming a brand the Union, aka the Philly soccer team. All right. That's going to be one brand. And then we got to go with the Birds, aka the Eagles, Super Bowl winning team from last year. We love them. We hate them because they lost last week, but that's just how it rolls. That's going to be our second brand. So hopefully by the time the end of Q4 comes, we can update you guys on potentially those brands with the potential for the upset of the Union potentially coming out on top on revenue. We'll see. It's going to be close, but we're already having a good match between Elon Musk brand and Uncle Jeff's brand, with the revenue being tight, with Elon Musk brand being 74,000 and Uncle Jeff's brand being 80.7K.
I have a strong feeling based on how we name them that the union is going to be the best for Q4.
I know. I
Of
agree.
all of our brands, it's the only one that's really a Christmas giftable kind of product. Maybe
It
the
really
Eagles
is.
too, but the Union, that brand's just been around longer, so we're taking it over. But it's a brand that's been existed, and the volume potential is actually kind of insane. So
Yes.
I'm very, very excited to give you guys a Q1 update on how Q4 went for that. One other quick thing I wanted to say about Uncle Jeff's brand. So obviously that's one that we've been with for a while.
Yeah.
Q2, Q3 was like almost exactly the same, which is great.
Yeah.
But so interesting challenge that we kind of have for ourselves is like we've just been trying to figure out how to grow that brand.
Yeah.
It's in an extremely competitive category. So like I remember there was one campaign where I was like, let's just see what some clicks on like the main keywords. I remember there was one keyword we spent $10 on a single click. And I was like, okay, this is not going to work.
That's crazy.
Insane, right? So that I just wanted to share that to give an idea of how like competitive it is. But I really genuinely believe that we can grow this brand. Maybe not a full double, but I think there's potential for at least a 50% increase. And obviously with the brands that we've been working with the longest and are super consistent, being able to grow those and acquiring customers that get into subscribe and save,
Yeah.
really long-term value. So that's one thing that we've been playing around with. We've done different things in ads. Obviously you can see that there wasn't growth from Q2 to Q3. There wasn't regression, which is good.
Yes.
But I know that we've been putting a lot of effort into, okay, how can we tweak the listing? We've completely redone the photos,
Yep.
completely redone the A+ content, trying to really speak to a core demographic. Because before we were just had like a very generic listing. These are the benefits, like anyone could just kind of see. But as we've learned more about the marketing and SEO and how to do ads the right way, it's like, especially for a product in this competitive of a category, that's just not going to convert new customers.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like that base of customers that already like the product, but in terms of trying to get new customers, that's like our challenge that we're really going for with that brand. So
Yeah. And I think that's
we'll,
why we like subscribe and save so much, because we can
mhm,
actually then tell if they really like the product and they're ordering again, they're going to hit that subscribe and save to save a couple bucks. Are we actually getting new customers into the system, or is it just a whole bunch of people who already are ordering the product? Are they just ordering again? And so I think
yes,
that's where the subscribe and save number really comes into play. And that's why it's so exciting to see that number grow.
100%. Okay. And then we just wanted to end this episode with some quick Q4 hits, just
Yeah.
some quick tips for you guys. Stuff I know we've talked about in the past because obviously Q4's come around every year. But for new listeners, a couple quick tips. Some of these we mentioned on the previous episode with SellerSnap as well. But once Black Friday, Cyber Monday hits, like do not be afraid to play around with price increases. People will buy as the holidays come closer. Do not get involved in price wars. Now, you always have to analyze the listing. If the listing's overstock and there's a big seller that's driving the price down and you're not winning buy box, you might just have to drop the price. But oftentimes people will drop the price out of panic, but they don't realize that the velocity is going up. And so then those people that drop the price, give it a couple days, they're out of stock, price jumps right back up. Now you're getting sales at a profitable margin. Also, FBM, whether it's wholesale or OA, whatever it is, even private label, like if you have some stock that you're trying to get in last minute and you're not sure if it's going to check in FBA, keep some on FBM,
Yeah.
because people will still buy and pay a premium for that. Also, FBM, make sure that you have your shipping templates
Yes. Oh
set
my
correctly,
gosh.
because the last thing you want is for someone to pay for next day shipping but get it for free. That
Yeah.
happened to us.
Yep.
People will pay for next day shipping and you should charge them, because when you go to buy next day shipping in your account, it's not cheap. So
It's
you
not
might have
cheap.
to pay $20, $30, $40 for next day shipping and you only charge them $5. Now you're in the red. So make
Yeah.
sure you set that right. Huge tip.
Huge tip.
Um, Let me see what else.
I mean, I
So,
remember when
mhm.
I got those big toy cars, and then the only people
Oh,
buying them were from Hawaii because they, so we had to cancel those orders,
oh, that was
which just
terrible.
doesn't look good on your account, can really
No.
affect your account health, and that's
Yeah,
the
we can't
last thing.
we got banned on the product.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want coming into Q4 is to get banned, kind of get
John
banned on
John
brands
Deere
because of that.
John Deere tractors from Marshalls.
Yeah, I mean, they were big, and there's no way because we would. I mean, the
They were
shipping
like
on them would
30
have been
pounds.
like, I think it was like 300 or something like dollars, and
Hmm.
we did not have our shipping template very good. And it looks like October 30th, 2025. That's when you need to have your shipments
Yeah.
arrive by the
So,
date to get,
mhm.
the shopping period at the end of November. Make sure
Yeah.
they're Prime badge. So getting
Yeah.
those shipments in on
And
time
so, yeah,
is
so
super
maybe we
important.
should release this one sooner, but probably won't. But people will already know, especially if you're in the wholesale network,
Yeah.
because we're keeping people abreast on this. But today's the 9th. I think this episode's coming out on the 20th,
Ah,
which, if you're listening to it today, the 20th is the day that you need your inventory into Amazon if you're doing minimal shipment splits. If
right.
you're doing optimized shipment splits, then getting it in by the 30th is Amazon's guaranteed date. I believe I'm speaking right on that.
Well, it
For
does
stuff
look like,
being ready by Black Friday.
okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
By Black Friday, not Christmas, technically Black Friday.
correct. And so, just speaking from experience here, obviously Amazon's guarantee is what they say it is. So do your best to get stuff in by those dates. We keep sending in stuff FBA the whole time. We don't stop
All the time. Yep.
for multiple reasons. One, stuff still can check in. Like, I've had
Absolutely.
stuff that I sent in right before Black Friday that checked in FBA and sold before Christmas.
Yep.
Not a guarantee, but it happens to me every year. Also, big surprise, Amazon's still around in January. You still need inventory.
Oh, yeah.
So keep sending stuff in.
Keep sending stuff in. Your sales are going to dip, obviously, but man, especially that first couple weeks of January, people like to spend those gift cards they got for Christmas.
Yes, they do. I think Amazon gift cards are the third biggest currency in the U.S.
That's crazy.
I'm
Which is kind of funny.
pretty sure that's real.
That's wild because I actually got. It's funny that you say that because actually a patient gave me some Amazon gift cards the other
That's
day.
funny.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I will be using
You
them.
you guys can fact check me on that, but I remember hearing that somewhere and they gave like a stat on it. And I mean, it makes sense. Maybe honestly, well, Bitcoin hit a new all-time high, so maybe it's the fourth now.
But also, I would say, getting back to the fact, AI repricing or a repricer in general for Q4 is
Oh
absolutely
my gosh,
necessary.
please,
You
guys, I am
stop
begging
wasting
you,
your time,
just buy
dear
some.
Lord.
Just get on
Unless you have
SellerAmp.
3 SKUs. If you have
Yeah.
more than, I would say probably 10 SKUs, just
Even
do
if
it.
if it's honestly, I
Just
wouldn't
do
even
it.
say SKUs. I would just say how many units you're selling a month.
Well, that's
Like
also
if
true.
you're
Yeah.
selling, uh, honestly, even if you're selling 500 units a month, because I believe the base price for sellers. Well, actually, that's not true because I believe they came out with a new pricing tier. I believe there's a $250 tier if you're selling under a certain amount of revenue.
Oh,
So
interesting.
a big thing was like, all right, the $500 price mark compared to other repricers, it's expensive. It's true. But it's like, even if you're selling 500 SKUs
Yeah,
and you're spending $500, I can almost guarantee you that you will make more than an extra $500 on your 500 SKUs
for
or
sure.
500 units sold a month.
Especially in December, especially Q4.
Oh my gosh, dude. And
Yeah,
then the $250 price rate. It's like if you're selling 250 units a month, like, just get it. It's
just
like
get it.
it. Please.
You're gonna make more profit if you have it. Believe me.
Oh my gosh. It,
We can
especially
guarantee
Q4.
it. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Um,
Incredible.
do you have any more tips, Coach?
Click the link in the description. Use code Robinson and you get 10% off. So 250 is what is that? 225?
Yeah,
Save you just get it. Oh my gosh.
just get it already. Guys, links in the description. You guys know where to go. Thanks for listening. Guys, make sure to leave a comment if you guys want us to cover any topics. We're always looking for, guests and everything. And so if you want a topic covered, we want to provide you guys with value. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're on Spotify, follow us. Follow the podcast so you can stay updated on all of our new content. And we will see you on the next one.